It said the content's being sent, so I just got the notification on YouTube that we're live too. So
we are. It just went live. All right, everybody. It is 10:38 a.m. on February 22nd, 2025. This is the State Central Committee of the Libertarian Party of Indiana, and I call this meeting to order. Our secretary is not here today, so I'm going to be calling the roll. Starting with the officers, vice chair is vacant. Treasurer Michael Schulteis.
Present.
Secretary Clayton Soltz is not here. Comms Director, Mr. Smith.
Present.
Tech Director, Mr. Hagerman.
Present.
District 1, Mr. Schick.
Present.
District 2, Ms. Coquillard.
Present.
District 3, Ms. Avery.
Here.
District 4, Mr. Lundy.
Present.
District 5, Ms. Schillings.
Present.
District 6, Mr. Lomax.
Oh, I'm here.
District 7, Ms. Glass.
Here. Sorry, the mute button went.
Thank you. District 8 is vacant. District 9, Ms. Curran.
She's present in the chat. I think she's under the weather.
Okay. And then I am also present. Everybody saw the agenda. Got the link in the Google invite. It's up on the website. Any additions to the agenda? Any amendments? Okay, hearing none. Any objection to the agenda as presented? Hearing none, the agenda is adopted. Mr. Lomax, can you be the timekeeper?
Yes, sir. I can do that.
Okay. Chair's report. Just been doing a lot since coming back from DC with the flu. And then post vacancy resignation of our vice chair. We'll get into more later, but I've been working with Lori on some of the convention items that we need to do. And doing a lot of work within Civi. Worked with Allen County and Monroe County, and we are at the next stages of onboarding for both of those counties. There's nothing that I need from Allen County as of right now. You guys should have access to your new Civi instance starting probably, I'd say, Friday, as well as your email system. Monroe will be a little bit longer because they still need to set up their Stripe account. And so they're in that process. But on our end, everything else will be done. And that is basically it. There is no vice chair, so there won't be a vice chair report. Any questions for the chair? Okay, hearing none. Moving on to the treasurer, Mr. Schulteis.
As of January 31st, 2025, across all of our accounts, we have $25,462.94. I did send out the supplementary reports for February to date, but I don't have those in front of me. We do have larger income than normal due to the upcoming convention, but we also have expenses for the convention, so not all of that is available for the board to spend, but we do have a healthier balance than we ended the year with. And I believe that's all I have. I am also working with our assistant treasurer in fixing our data information for the triple membership payouts. Those should be going out later this week. I hope to have payments set up to go out this weekend, so they should post by the middle of the week. I did see in Mr. Lundy's District 4 report that Montgomery has disbanded, so I need to make sure that all of the counties that are listed to be paid are still active. So I'll be verifying that as well.
On that note, hold Tippecanoe as well. If they have a payment due, hold until post convention, until after their until they hold their reconvened annual convention. I think that was the only one. Also, I don't think we have banking info for Henry County. But that will be on new business item C. I'll be talking about that. But Henry County. So keep Henry County in reserve, but Montgomery County officially goes into the not affiliated category.
Okay.
Any questions for the treasurer? Mr. Lundy.
I didn't have time to go through it with a fine tooth comb, but just a question for you and Michael. There was the chair debit card. It looks like we dropped like $6,000 so far this year.
No.
I mean, you see what I'm saying though?
Yeah, it's the same problem that we had last month.
Okay.
Where I pointed that out. It's not, there's something funky about the QuickBooks way that anytime that it does a transfer over of funds, it makes it look like that's a drop in an increase in expense. So it's like a weird reporting thing.
So it's like we're just making the credit card payment or something and it's double counting it?
It's a transfer from one account to the other account.
Okay.
So it's
the graph that we used previously was doing that. I don't think the statement of cash flows was doing that, but
okay. I didn't really look at the report because it came in today, so I hadn't looked at it yet.
Right, I just skimmed it and noticed that was pretty large. I'm like, well, that's way more than Evan normally spends. So I was just wondering if we had convention expenses or what there.
When
A
he went
lot
to Washington
of-
D.C. I mean,
A lot of the regular expenses that we have that get approved are on that card as well. So they're coming out of the chair's discretionary fund, but they're not, and it's stupid and we should stop doing that because they're not the chair's discretionary spending. So like buffer, Canva, all of those things which are approved budgeted expenses are coming off of that card when they shouldn't be. They should be coming off the main card. So it could possibly actually be accurate because there are those things that are coming off of my payment, but aren't considered discretionary funds. Like the trip to DC was not considered a discretionary fund because that was approved by the SCC.
All right, just wanted to ask.
But that is something that I hope we can move towards rectifying. That way it is only the discretionary funds on that card. So thank you for pointing that out, Mr. Lundy. There is 5 minutes for, any other questions for the secretary, for the treasurer? Bear with me, I'm still a little congested from the flu. Every time I thought I felt better, I ended up getting a fever again. It's been 2.5 days since I've had a fever, but I felt great the last 2 days, or like, I mean, as good as you can. And today I feel very congested and heavy. So just bear with me. Any other questions for the treasurer? Okay, hearing none. Secretary Soltz did not submit that I'm aware of. He did submit the minutes from the previous meeting immediately after the meeting. Does everybody remember that?
yes.
Is there a motion to adopt those minutes from the previous meeting?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mr. Lomax. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Schillings. Is there any objection? Okay, hearing no objection, the minutes from the previous meeting are adopted. LNC update, there's nobody here from the LNC. So I will give a brief cursory update from what I am aware of. trying to think when we had our last meeting. Since then, Angela McCardle resigned her position as national chair. There was a short window of appointing a new chair. I did receive several CC'd emails and notices from members of the LNC that there were many people, including people not from Indiana, that put my name forward, and I'm very humble and appreciative of that. There was zero chance that I was going to be selected by the LNC to serve as national chair. But thank you guys for everybody who did think of me. It means a lot that you guys would trust me to run the national party. Steve Nikela, who was the at-large, who did run for national chair in DC. I believe he also ran for national chair in Reno and Orlando. Anyway, he was appointed by the LNC, and our Southern Conference Region 3 region rep, Mr. Paul Dar, ended up being elected or appointed vice chair of the national party. The Southern Conference is keeping Keith Thomas, who was the region alt, for now. But they're figuring out who's going to be what replacement. Either Keith will go back to being an alt and they'll have a new rep, or Keith will stay as the rep and they'll have a new alt, but it's up to them. We don't get a say. So there have been some positive changes in messaging. There have also been some continuation of not great messaging. So it's, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but I do think that there is a desire to be operating with more transparency and with more inclusion of the board in decisions, instead of the national chair just deciding when and where to do what and who to hire and things like that. So that is good. Mr. Lomax.
So obviously the point was brought up in the LP Hancock County chat the other day, and you responded to it. Is there any chance that we've got with the new chair with Stephen to get the issues page looked at and maybe de-republicanized?
It has been requested multiple times by multiple people that I am aware of from Region 3. Multiple states, including me as the chair of Indiana, have requested that be reverted back to what it was. It is low on the priority right now, and from the things that I know, that I have seen, knowing how organizations and boards are run, it has only been a couple of weeks. It's been a few weeks. There was a lot of major uncoupling that needed to happen. I will be less forgiving at the end of March, but there's a little grace that I'm willing to give now, because there's a lot of fires that need to be handled that are of much higher priority. Granted, it is the forward facing thing, so people are seeing it, and that is important, but the things that may be happening behind the scenes that can affect a lot of the function of the party need to be addressed first. But I'll be less forgiving. If it's still up at our convention, I'll probably say something from the podium.
Has there been any movement on the staff? Because I'm sure that there was a lot of staff.
I do not know, because that's not discussed publicly anywhere, because staffing is confidential.
Okay.
So I have no knowledge of any staff changes on or off. So I have no idea.
Okay. Has anybody, is there any update on the financial situation of the LNC since Stephen took over? Have they begun
The previous
that process,
month they had, and I believe that this would be for January. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the financial report for January just released, and they raised a total of $66,000. I'm unclear if that included money from the joint fundraiser or not. But that's still significantly below. The average was over 100,000 before. I believe that the average from 4 years ago was I want to say it was 140, 150,000 a year, or excuse me, a month. And this is better than the previous months, excluding the JFC, but it's still significantly probably 50% or less of what we used to bring in as a national party per month.
Time.
Okay. Also, there's no additional information on Grand Rapids for the 2026 convention. There's no, typically tickets would be available by now, room packages, there's nothing as of right now. I do know there are a couple of seats on the Convention Oversight Committee and they are trying to fill them. A word around the campfire, and this is just rumor, is that the contracts haven't even been signed for 2026 in Grand Rapids, that there was a letter of intent, but no actual agreement executed. I will keep you posted as I learn more. Moving on, Mr. Smith, communications.
Yeah, our communications have, and pardon, bear with me, I don't have much of a voice right now as I too am a little bit under the weather, but communications, early in the month, we put forth a very strong statement on the use of Guantanamo Bay uh, for undocumented immigrants, and it received a lot of engagement as we outed a lot of Republicans who follow our Facebook feed, apparently. But it's probably the single most engagement we've had on a post on our Facebook feed in quite some time. Had 162 comments. In the last week, we've been able to get posts with over 50 shares a couple of times on our Facebook feed as well. That seems to be where the bulk of our engagement is coming from at the moment. It appears that in the last few months, since Mr. Musk has taken over, our engagement or our Twitter feed has been throttled. We are not getting very many views despite having over 5,000 followers. We're usually having less than 150 views per post. And so engagement's a little bit down there, but our Facebook engagement has been very, very good so far. And we've been trying to at least 2 or 3 times a week have something up on our Facebook feed that carries out a professional, consistent libertarian message that tries to educate or communicate libertarian ideas and philosophy to our followers and to anybody else who might look and see.
So 2 things, Mr. Smith. Thank you for your report. I would like to meet sometime this week. I know that you have work during the day, so maybe we can do it as early as possible in the evening, but a couple hours. If we need to do it via Zoom, that's fine.
Okay.
But I'd like to do that this week, before the weekend. Number 2, Miss Avery from District 3 had requested our media contacts for Allen County through Agility. So if you can pull those from Agility and send them to her, that would be great.
I will see if I can do that.
Okay.
So, but I believe I sent a contact list to Miss Avery earlier. If I did not, I will do that, and I'll see what I can do pulling from Agility as well.
Okay, my question, so I'm going to bring Miss Avery in to answer this then, because her district report said she hadn't received it.
Okay, that's
Avery.
fine. Then I maybe thought I had, but had not. But I will do
But
that.
she just shook her head yes, so I want her
Okay.
to comment on it. Miss Avery,
Okay.
can you give clarity on this real quick?
Sorry, couldn't find the mute button. he sent me a list from, I believe, the Ceniac campaign, but I haven't got the agility list. So I don't know if
Okay.
he's
Okay,
unable to get that or what.
okay.
It is difficult to pull lists from agility, but I will see what I can do to facilitate that here and get that to you.
You do have a very husky voice, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, it has gone away. It's pretty thin at the moment.
Any other questions for the comms director? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Hageman, Tech Director.
I don't have a report, although I will be updating the counties as they fill out the county affiliate page. I see that 2 counties have, so I will do those. But that form doesn't get utilized very much anyway. But I will start updating any of those that come in. In light of Kristen's resignation, if you need some envelope stuffing or something with membership, let me know. I can give you a few. I'm here closed, so I'm willing to come down and help out a few hours. So
I will
just let me know.
definitely need pre-convention help for the putting together of all of the stuff.
Yeah, I
printed
figured you
materials for
probably
the
would.
convention.
So
Also, I noticed something from Mr. Lomax. I think it was in his report. I don't know. I don't know if he sent one. Maybe he did. If he did, it was this morning. Anyway, he had made a comment that the website has the incorrect listing for Hancock County officers. Can you check to see if Hancock County submitted a update through the form? And if not, can you get the form linked to Mr. Lomax so that he can get that to his district chairs? So that
yes,
they
I will
can
look at that.
update
Send
their
it
info.
before the end of the meeting. Are there any other questions for me?
Other than
Mr.
those,
Schulteis. Go ahead.
other than those 2 counties that you're going to be updating, is the county map up to date?
Well, I'll have to take Montgomery into unaffiliated status, but yeah, as far as I know, it is.
Okay, thank you.
I believe so. I know that I updated a couple of the counties a few weeks ago, like a month ago. So I think it is current, I believe. I'll look at it today and give it a cursory look. Okay, any other questions for the tech director? Okay, hearing none. District 1, Mr. Schick.
Nothing out of the ordinary in District 1. Porter and LaPorte counties continue to have their regular meetings. The CFA forms are either submitted or in the process of being submitted. I've told, I know Porter County, we've submitted our delegate list to Clayton. I've been told the other 2 counties were going to do that. Unfortunately, Clayton's not here. I couldn't verify. I thought, I was hoping maybe I could just verify with him if he had received those or not. But it is still our intent to get those delegate lists submitted from the counties. That's all for District 1. Any questions or comments?
So they're supposed to send the delegate lists to both myself and the secretary, and I know I haven't received them from the other 2 counties.
Okay.
So I don't think they've submitted them yet.
Okay.
But they may have just sent them to Clayton, but
Okay, I'll remind them again that they need to do that quickly.
thank you. District 2, Ms. Coquillard.
Not too much to report from District 2. All of our counties have held their conventions, except for Marshall. They're still MIA. But all counties have had their conventions. I reminded, I think we had one chair who had not submitted the delegates or the officers, but he was going to do that today. And we also held our district convention on February 3rd via Zoom. Tim had the most in his county, so he chaired. And we did unanimously elect a new district rep for District 2 for the upcoming year. That will be Tim Cotton. And I'm not stepping away. I am just pivoting into a different area, so don't be alarmed. And so that happened. St. Joseph County is planning a set of 5 community events to help people appeal property tax assessments. So they're in the planning process of that. Members in Elkhart continue to demand the removal of the Bogo Township trustee. We're currently in the litigation process for that. The next trustee meeting is in April, and the good people on the board could really use some support at this meeting. The last one did get hostile. They did have the police there to make sure that it was safe, but there was some hostility, and I think that they could really use some support in that process. So I'll put that out when I get the meeting date for that. And I think that's it for District 2.
I failed. I know we talked, Ms. Coquillard, about me sending a message to someone. I don't want to say who or what.
Yep.
I didn't do that. So I'm making a note to myself to do that.
Okay.
Okay, someone's screaming downstairs. Any other questions for Ms. Coquillard? Hearing none, District 3, Ms. Avery.
Thank you. I did submit a report. Really the only 2 counties that I'm getting much communication from are my own county, Allen County and Whitley County. I'm not sure what, if anything, is going on with Randolph or Wells County. Not super concerned about Randolph County, but Wells County I know is pretty close to being disaffiliated, perhaps. Maybe DeKalb County also, but it's just really hard to get things going. It's very sad to see that even Marion County can't get quorum for their convention. Thankfully, Allen County did get quorum for their convention, so I'm very thankful for that. Michael sent me a link to the spreadsheet for the triple membership payments, but I really don't understand what's on there because it shows that Allen County is not owed anything, which is not correct.
It'll be fixed shortly.
Okay. Also, I'm wondering if there's some metrics that we have with agility because I'm submitting stuff and I'm just not seeing anything back from it. So I'm just wondering if we can get any kind of statistics about how the reach is or anything with that. I think that's pretty much all I have.
Any questions for Ms. Avery? Okay, hearing none, District 4, Mr. Lundy.
As has already been mentioned, Montgomery County has voted to disaffiliate, so that's a thing. Hendricks County tried to have a convention, didn't have a quorum, but they should have submitted a list of delegates. So yeah, Morgan and Hendricks both need to try to have a convention again next month. And then of course Tippecanoe is not changed yet. They're supposed to try to maybe have a chair next month. We'll find out.
They're reconvened as the first weekend of March, correct? For Tippecanoe.
I need to figure that out. It's usually the same night as my park board meeting, so I can't go.
Okay. Do I need to add that to a called convention by the state chair?
It would probably be helpful if somebody could be there if I can't be there. I was going to
can't
ask Kristen to do
physically be
it,
there.
but yeah.
I can't physically be there, but I can do it over Zoom.
Okay. We need to get in touch with somebody out there and figure it out, I guess.
Because Steve's not going to preside over it, correct?
Yeah, he's not going to be there.
Okay.
And Randy's the only one coming as delegate, so I guess we'll reach out to him.
Yeah, I'll talk to Randy and see if he's okay with me calling it via Zoom.
Okay.
For the first weekend of March. We'll go from there. If you're okay with that, Danny.
No, I'm good. Just let me know.
Okay. Well, I'll add that in the called conventions portion. Anything else, Mr. Lundy?
Negative.
Any questions for District 4? Hearing none, District 5, Ms. Schillings.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hamilton County had their convention Saturday, January 18th. We just barely made quorum. So all officers were reelected. Current officers are remaining. Madison County, I had initially thought that their convention was January 26th. It was advertised that way, but then we received an email saying it was actually this coming Sunday, tomorrow. So I will try to attend that. Grant County, theirs was held on 2/16. And all changes in leadership are the same, like no change there. And their end of CFA 4 was filed. I have reminded Madison County to do so as well. Membership numbers are down for the district, and I'm not sure what to do about that. Morale is low. That's all I have to speak on today.
I sent out the email for Madison County, and I don't remember the date.
February 23rd, but initially there was a notice I received prior to that it was going to be January 26th. And there was a Facebook event and everything. So I'm not sure what the disconnect was.
That's the date that they gave me was February 23rd.
Mhm.
So that's what I sent out for them.
I'm just hoping I didn't miss their convention.
Maybe because it's tomorrow, unless you can go.
Oh, I had planned on going. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Any questions for Ms. Schillings? Hearing none, District 6, Mr. Lomax.
So yeah, I submitted a report this morning. I just sent the affiliate update through the Google Doc that Chuck put in the chat. So I also sent that to Mr. Kappas in Johnson County. I do not believe that they have held their Johnson County convention yet. I'm waiting to hear back from him. So
They did.
They did? Okay.
Yeah, they submitted their delegates. And by the way, I want to interrupt, pause time for a second on you. They submitted all of their members. They filled their seats, and then they submitted the rest of the Johnson County members as alternates.
Okay.
Just
is that not okay?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't know that they even asked people.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, other than that, we do have our District 6 convention scheduled via Google Meet. It's going to be next Sunday, March 2nd at 2 p.m. I sent out an email to all of the membership in District 6 and let them know in the invite that only the county chairs or their proxies would be eligible to vote during the meeting, but I want to try to get as many people together as possible. So I tried to make it an upbeat email and reach out to some people in even unaffiliated counties so that if they want to get those wheels turning, we can get those wheels turning. I've also prepared a draft letter that I sent over to Evan, and he said it looked good to send out to the membership in Hancock County as a fundraising measure. I have not made it to the post office yet, but I have a list of names and addresses that I have to send all that out to. That is the existing members and previous donors to the state party for Hancock County residents. So I was informed recently by Larry that we do have local elections in Buck Creek Township, which is where I reside in 2025, and I will be running for the Buck Creek Township Board. That is my plan. Yeah.
Interruption. This is critically important.
Okay.
Is there another person that can run, and is there a second office up for?
There are 3 spots that are open for the Buck Creek Township Board because the last time we elected a trustee, all 3 of the other board members resigned the next day.
Okay. My question is, do you have another member who can run?
I mean, not yet, but I probably can find one. Yes.
I
just found out about this 2 days ago. So
I need you to do that, and I need you to get them on the ballot immediately.
Okay.
I had we can't get the voter list unless we have 2 libertarians on the ballot this year.
Oh, okay.
And I was unsuccessful in getting anybody to run in Vernon.
Okay.
So it would be very, very helpful if we could get
Yep.
that done, taken care of immediately.
Okay. I will send out those emails. I don't know if any of
I
the
will buy
other
you
people
dinner.
Yeah, I don't know if any of the other people that are members in Hancock County live in Buck Creek Township, but I will immediately look into that and find out for you.
You do?
I do. Yes, I live. I
It's
mean,
your
I
wife?
can. Yes, but she's not running. I could throw a rock and hit the township hall, so I could literally walk to the meetings after work. So, but yeah, so I'll dig around and see if I can find somebody else. There's a neighbor of mine that's not yet a member, but I might be able to convince him to be a member so that he can run.
Okay. Any other, Mr. Lomax, I'm sorry I interrupted you on that. Did you have
No.
more you needed to say?
No, that was it. Just make, if anybody else would like an invite to the Google Meet for the District 6 convention for next week, please let me know offline and I will send you that invite so that you can observe.
I just want to comment about the letter that Mr. Lomax is sending us. We talked about engagement at their county convention that I attended. And he had this really good statement on what they had accomplished and what they were planning on doing in Hancock County. And I said he should change that a little bit, edit it so that it can be used as a letter to be sent, physically mailed out to members and previous members within the county. To send that first and then to prepare it as an email also to members and previous members within the county, but to alter it a little bit more to make it an email that then goes out to all of the contacts within the county. That way it's encouraging people to either give to the county party, become more involved in the county party, or in the case of contacts, to join the county party. Mr. Lomax, if you would feel so inclined, you might want to share that with the rest of the SCC, that letter, so that they can kind of get an idea of what you were doing. But it's a physical letter that goes out first, and then a few days later, then you do the emails.
Yep, I will absolutely send that out to everybody.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lomax. District 7, Miss Class.
Last weekend we had our convention, but we did not make quorum. So we will be, Marion County will be attempting to have our convention the Saturday morning before our business meeting at the state convention, hopefully to make quorum easier for people because hopefully they'll be joining the state convention as well. Our I think it's 8 people is quorum. We are the meeting spot that we had. We normally don't have a monthly meeting after convention, but I went anyway and had a few people show up, and it just so happens that the Airbnb pro people who are against regulation of Airbnbs and AI people all picked the third Wednesday of the month to meet at our meeting spot. So I made some inroads with those particular groups of people as well. So I would suggest that, and I talked to maybe a dozen people there that would be interested in maybe helping the Libertarian Party at least. So I would encourage everyone else to find their Airbnb people and their AI people and see if that might be another road to kind of coalition with. And that's all I have.
Ms. Class, did
Any
you
questions?
see my email response to you today?
Not today if it just responded, but I
Okay.
can look at it.
Yeah, if you can check your email. I sent you a response this morning to your report.
Okay.
What was I gonna how are you guys going to do your delegates to the convention as well as picking a district rep?
as well as picking a district rep. We are, I'm not quite sure, we were supposed to pick a bunch of delegates and a bunch of executive positions for our county, but no one was there. I know that a couple of people who were there suggested that they would like to be delegates, but I have not had a full list yet.
Okay. That can't wait. So you're not going to be able to do that at the Saturday morning.
Yes, I
Yeah, okay.
plan to figure out how to get a list of delegates. I asked Clayton for some clarification, but I haven't heard back from him yet.
What clarification did you need?
I wanted to know like how many delegates we needed and like how to calculate that in the future so that I didn't have to ask.
So you're always going to have to ask.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because the calculation is based off of number of members as of December
Okay.
31st and the previous Secretary of State list. There is a spreadsheet that shows exactly how many delegates you get and how many super delegates you get. So you're a super delegate, the county chair is a super delegate. Any voting member of the SCC residing within your county is a super delegate. So I'm a super delegate. Chuck Hagerman's a super delegate. I think that's it.
Libby.
Well, I would be one.
Right, I
but-
said she was. I said that at the beginning.
Okay.
I think that's it. I think those are the only SCC members you have, but they're super delegates that don't count against your allotted delegation numbers.
I see.
It is highly
So-
likely that you're going to fill your delegation. Just
I
FYI.
understand. Yeah, no, I understand. So I was just trying to figure out how many we needed and if we had that many.
I
As
will
of right
send
now,
out
I
that,
haven't.
I will send out that list, the spreadsheet link again
Okay.
to the entire SCC after this meeting.
Okay. As of right now, I have an unofficial list of 3 people who were gonna attend, but other than myself. But I wanted to verify with other people who weren't at the meeting, and I am attempting to send out an email responding to your email. Because we posted on Facebook, but I guess we did not go through Civi. So
Well, and that doesn't count as notice.
the Facebook
also.
does not count as notice.
No, it does not.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of that.
Yep.
So
Because I know at least 7 members that you have in Marion County who do not use Facebook.
including myself. But
Right. Oh,
right.
8.
So
I forgot about you.
yeah.
Notice is email. And until about 10 years ago, it was written. Like you had to actually send a letter.
Okay.
And then we started allowing email. So you have to send an email notice to the members within a certain time before the convention.
Okay.
And I think for Marion County, it's 30 days before the
Yeah,
convention.
and so that's why I told Rico that I would, and he also, our chair also said he would try and figure out how to get the email through Civi, but I told him I would back him up a little bit and try and figure it out as well. So
And that's a thing that you can,
I'm not the
if
best
you guys
with
are
tech.
having trouble and you need to send notice, like I did it for Madison County, you can send it to me, you can, could have sent it to the vice chair or to Chuck, and we can get it out for you so that it hits timely. I'm not going to send your regular
Okay.
communications out for you, but I will help send out notice so that it gets done correctly and within bylaws required time limits.
Okay, that helps with that clarification. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for District 7? Okay, hearing none, District 8 is vacant. District 9, Ms. Curran, she's not feeling well, and she did submit a written report. The one thing that I will add is, Ms. Curran, your counties need to use the link for updating their county party officers as well. I noticed that Floyd County had a few bylaws changes as it was listed. They also need to send us their new bylaws so that we have those in the record. I think that there is an upload feature on that form. If not, you can just send it to the secretary, to Mr. Soltz. Any questions for District 9 that she might be able to type in the chat? Okay, hearing none. We have down to teams, the convention is the only thing with time on it. The Lori actually, Ms. Schillings actually sent out a convention report, which was, thank you, Ms. Schillings. That was amazing. I appreciate you. So please review that. I'm going to try to save my voice. Everything was pretty detailed in that, what's outstanding, what needs to be done. I will need volunteers in the office. I loved the idea, Miss Avery, and thank you for volunteering, Miss Coquillard, that maybe we can do some stuff immediately after the in-person meeting the week before the convention. I do believe, Ms. Schillings, correct me if I'm wrong, I should have everything in and printed by then, correct? Was that the deadline? You're muted.
Yes, you should have that information, and the rest of my day today is dedicated to LPIN work.
Nice. We had a new sponsor as of the 20th. Or not new sponsor, advertisement request was put in. Did you get that?
I did, thank you.
Okay. I did talk to Mr. Rutherford at his wedding. At his request, he asked me to talk to him at the wedding. So I did. He is going to be another sponsor. He's just not sure what level. So he said not the $5,000 level, but he'll sponsor at some other level. Any questions about the convention? What I would suggest is if you have a question, please first read the report that Ms. Schillings sent out. If you have any questions, please do send them to both Ms. Schillings and myself. And then we will try to address them that way.
Right.
Ms. Schillings, go ahead.
Can you send me an updated reservation head count for our dinner participants when you have time, please?
You should be able to access that on
I
City.
do not think I can. That was part of the money deal that I didn't have access to.
Let me work on that.
Thank you.
And see if I can figure that out.
Thanks.
Okay. If not, I will make sure that I'm getting you some of the, I'll give regular reports on head counts.
Right, thanks.
Any other questions? No, because I asked you to submit them in writing. Legal updates, I will tell you, I know that it says 0 minutes, but I just got this the other day. Then I kind of forgot. We were denied, it's complicated. Our case, our ballot access case was going before the Supreme Court, the US Supreme Court. We asked for cert. There are deadlines, and the paperwork was filed in time. Our attorneys got a notification that we had not filed in time, and they went to the clerk, and the clerk was like, oh, yep, here it is, file stamped. The Supreme Court justice who has to then say this moves forward or doesn't move forward said we didn't meet the deadline, even though we did. So we're asking for that to be re-examined, but it's not going to happen until the summer session. So it won't be heard until later, if we even get cert. But as of right now, it's stalled because the timestamp on the form, they apparently lost it. But it wasn't entered into the digital system. So according to the judge, it was not filed on time, even though it was. And it's acknowledged by the court that it was filed on time. But so we were denied the CERT process because of that. Sorry. So that's just a little update, not confidential. That's public record. Vice chair vacancy. After speaking with a few of you guys and then hearing from some of the members, it was abundantly clear that no one wished for the vacancy to be filled, or the majority of people did not wish for the vacancy to be filled by the SCC this close to the convention. That instead, they'd like for the candidate to be chosen at the state convention, which they would have been chosen anyway because the elections are up. But so in honor of that, even though it would be very helpful for me to have a vice chair immediately that is able to come in and do work in the office, I have agreed to not put any names forward for filling the vacancy. Unless people on the board feel strongly about wanting to do that, that's what it is. Any questions about the vacancy? Vice chair vacancy. Are you trying to talk, Miss Avery? Mr. Lundy?
Do we have a comprehensive list of candidates yet for the offices?
I believe it's on the website. I don't know. I did ask the one person that I know that was going to be put forward to fill the vacancy. I asked them to put together their pitch for the website for vice chair. But I think Kristen had done that. I think Michael was the only one who was declared at the time. I don't think I did. I'm not sure if Miss Dosbach did. I know she's declared for secretary. Mr. Soltz will not be seeking re-election. He wants to focus on Grant County and his role on the council. Any other questions about the vacancy, vice chair vacancy? Okay, hearing none. National data update. While I was in DC, I was literally complaining to Mr. Dar about how I've not been able to get a data dump from National in 18 months. And that I learned that a staffer was reprimanded for sending me a list of current members so that we could certify them to be national delegates and confirm that they met our state bylaws requirements of being a national member as well as a state party member. They were reprimanded for sending such a thing to one of the affiliates. Having that conversation with Mr. Dar, while we were talking, I got an email from National with a current membership list. It is wrong, and every state has reported that it is wrong and includes missing members of the LNC and the state chair. Our list had me. It had our vice chair. It did not have some other prominent names. There are just my cursory look at it. I could immediately spot people who were missing, who I knew are lifetime members, as well as regular annual dues paying members. Working on that, but at least I'm getting something from them. But so again, and they are sending it weekly, by the way. So it's coming out weekly, but it only includes the current membership list. I've made requests that include lapsed members, almost BSM pledge signed or not pledge signed donors, because that is often a mistake where somebody didn't sign the pledge, but they gave their money. It is oftentimes, I found in 1 year, 17 people who the portion of the form had been turned off at the time, so you couldn't select pledge signed or not signed, but then they were counted as pledge not signed. even though it was supposed to be automatic, that you were automatically a pledge sign. Anyway, so there are baby steps in progress, but it is still wrong and there are still problems. But I am less hostile about it as I was. Because at least it's now they are attempting to resolve the issue. So any questions about the national data update? Ms. Avery, are you wanting to say something? No, okay. Moving on to called conventions by the state chair. These are to essentially when there is no county chair or there is no district rep, calling these conventions. So I'm going to be sending out a schedule tomorrow to call a annual convention for Henry County. Potentially Tippecanoe County, as well as District 8. So I'm going to call the District 8 convention and then have them pick their district rep or not. And that will be up to whoever is chair at the conclusion of the state convention. If it is me, I have zero intention to fill the District 8 district rep seat if they don't select a district rep. But I do believe they intend to and they want to. So, but I'm just saying, I don't intend to fill those vacancies. Just to put it out there, I talked to Ms. Coquillard last week, I think. And while I was very flu riddled, I vaguely remember most of our conversation. And she's informed me that Mr. Cotton was likely to take over as district rep. And they voted for that. And Ms. Coquillard agreed to my recommendation to the board as appointment as outreach director to continue serving on the SCC as outreach director. So that would be a thing. Recommendation, whether I'm chair or not chair, that would be a recommendation that's made. Any questions about called conventions? Anybody know of a county or an area that we need to do that for that I'm forgetting? This is not organizing. This is just quasi-affiliated counties not calling their conventions.
Marshall County has been inactive for over a year now. They weren't able to make quorum last year, so I don't know. Tony hasn't been in communications with any of us, so I don't know.
Hutchinson?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll reach out to him before I put them on the list. Just because I don't want to step on their toes. Miss Avery, then Mr. Lomax. Miss Avery.
Same thing with Wells County. I haven't really heard anything from them. I occasionally will hear from Randolph County, so I think they're probably okay. And DeKalb County is definitely struggling. That's it.
DeKalb County only has one member. So I can call the convention, but it would ultimately be to dissolve the county. Because they don't have enough members to sustain. Mr. Lomax.
I know that previously you had said that you've been in talk with Mr. Johnson from Shelby County. And I didn't know if you had heard anything about them having a convention yet, or if you needed to do that one. Same thing with Tom Ferkenhoff out in Wayne County.
Yeah. Wayne County, I talked to them last year, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's been over a year, and they wanted to locally do something with a new chair.
Right.
It's your district.
Right. Yeah. I know.
I would recommend reaching out to him. That's a county that I'm not gonna want to call a
Right.
convention for unless
Fair
you
enough.
tell me that there's something going on. But so if you can reach out to them and talk to
Yep.
them about it.
I'll check with
Shelby
Tom and
County,
let
I
you
will
know.
reach out to Mr. Johnson about that, see what's going on there. I do vaguely remember him saying that they were going to disaffiliate.
Okay.
I want to say that was back in September. Because there were only the two of them and they were struggling. So, but I will follow back up with Shelby County. Some of these
Cool.
are probably not going to happen now until post convention. But it is what it is. But that's probably something that we should do. Like if we're not hearing from a county, maybe we just force a convention and force a dissolution if there's no activity. It's something for you guys to think about. How do we want to handle that? Because we can disaffiliate, but that doesn't mean the county party goes away. You know what I mean? They still technically exist within either the state or the county clerk's office. So they have to actually go through a dissolution process. And technically that needs to either be voted on or a convention called and no quorum and no quorums ever met. Technically, the state party can then notify either the clerk or the election division that it's a county, dissolved county party. Okay. Any other questions about that? I will make sure that with the exception of District 8, District 8, I'm probably going to invite the SCC officers to attend that. Other than that, I'll make sure that the district reps get an invite for whatever, like obviously Mr. Lundy, Tippecanoe, Mr. Lomax, for Henry County. If you guys come across something and you do need me to call a convention for a county, please let me know sooner rather than later. Okay, are there any announcements? Okay, hearing no announcements, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
By Ms. Schilling, seconded by Mr. Hagerman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I
Hi.
All those opposed say nay. We are adjourned. The time is 11:41.